Yep. Jeez. Osiris is squishy.
Already.
Exhausted. Trip.
Back down.
I gotta heal. Harvix is healing him.
Oh, how'd that miss?
How did you get the kill for that? What
Dots.
the man? Dots did to him. Nice route.
Got you, bro.
Outstanding
Vault
route.
kick that so he doesn't crash.
Trip that. Yeah, good job missing your armor breaker because you do the same combo as 99% of those people. Dodge that. Ooh. Pull them off. Pause. Oh, can't move. Hit him with that 1-2. 1-2. Buckle my shoe. Hold up, Osiris. I know you ain't trying to run up on me when there's E-Man right there. Hold up, Osiris. Hold up. Trip. Oh, you got healed. Oh. Oh, they don't like it. They don't like this. Hold up, I gotta repop Zephyr. I'm running. Repopping Zephyr. Coming back in.
Ah!
Body blocks. Body blocks. Go behind some LOS. Stop running in the... I jumped him and I died. I'm never playing hero again.
Oh, I just missed it.
You're welcome. I just gave you about 5 kills. How did that miss? Drop the bomb. Oh, they're immune. Should have known. But I have the remedy.
Damn! Clean up on aisle 2, bro.
The Maelstrom.
Alrighty, guys. I've got another build video for y'all. This is going to be the last build for Season 8 because we're about 2 weeks away from Season 9. Just in case if there's any massive changes coming to Season 9, I don't want you guys to put a build together and have that build be completely obsolete because of the changes they make in Season 9. Now, this is going to be the Venom Hatchet PvP build. So starting off with the helmet, we've got Shuriken Heals, Piece of Invigorated, and Slash Conditioning for some mitigation. Now, this is going to be a 5-piece Shuriken Heals build. Our artifact armor piece of choice, we're going with Featherweight so we can have as much mitigation as possible while staying in medium equip load. So we'll have 4 pieces of heavy and then heavy gloves with haste and vigor. I love this perk because it reduces the potency of incoming dots by 7%, as well as give us that 10% haste for 5 seconds. Movement speed with this build is going to be very important on keeping you alive. And of course, we have Bleed Sweep. It applies a bleed for 10% of the weapon damage for 8 seconds. On the legs, got a Piece of Freedom, Mortal Lifesteal, and then Shuriken Heals. Mortal Lifesteal is a phenomenal perk. The changes they made to it in Season 8, being able to have it proc off of Healing Breeze, really gives us a lot of passive healing, so we are able to stay in the fight longer and sustain much better. Then, of course, I'm rocking the Sand Lion Tarsus boots. Now, I totally understand if you don't have these boots, you can switch it out, you know, with another heavy piece, whether that be Frigid Dawn or another crafted piece. But just as long as you have that Shuriken Heels on there, you could also have Freedom or, you know, Enchanted Ward. But having these Keen Speed boots, getting that 20% haste for 7 seconds on critical hit really makes this build shine. We're able to move very quickly, and that helps us dodge a lot of attacks and keeping us in the fight that much longer. Because with this build, you don't have much mobility with the spear and the hatchet, considering we are not running Berserk on this build. Now, for my artifact weapon of choice, we're going with Venom. Venom is a phenomenal artifact in the game. It's got that illegal perk combo with Trenchant Crits and Trenchant Strikes. Then, of course, I went ahead and put on Plague Strikes to give us some anti-heal. And since we are running Sweep with the coup de grace passive on it, the coup de grace is considered a heavy attack, so every time we do that, we are applying that Plague Strikes, and then we're constantly doing medium heavies, half heavies, however you want to call it, to our opponents. We will be then keeping that uptime on that Plague Strikes anti-heal. That's intrinsic perk, Poison Tip. Heavy melee attacks with either weapon cause poison, dealing 15% weapon damage for 5 seconds. And then for the Rune Glass, I'm rocking an Abyssal Opportunist Gem. The Emerald Gem is phenomenal with this build, giving us that execute damage, a 13% damage against, and 3.5% healing to targets below 50% health. Then it adds that Void Dot to really give us some ult gen towards our Heart Rune. Now for the hatchet, I kind of got lucky. I got this off of the PvP reward track. It's got Pen, Backstab, Vicious, and that Empower Rendering Throw. Definitely a really good setup for what we are trying to go with this build. That Empowering Rending Throw, it gives us ranged hatchet attacks, deal 40% damage against Rending Throw targets. So once we apply that Rending Throw on there, our Infected Throw right after it will be doing a lot of damage. And then I went ahead and put on a turquoise gem to give us 12% armor pen. I think this is the best way to go with the hatchet, especially since we are running pen backstab on it as well. Now for our amulet, I'm rocking Ankh to really boost the passive healing from Mortal Lifesteal. Now I've been going back and forth which jewelry artifact I like. I've been using Ankh, and then I've been switching it up with Justice as well. Now with Ankh, the intrinsic perk on it, Center of Attention consumables, lifesteal, and outgoing heals are 25% weaker, but all other healing is 25% stronger. So our Shuriken Heals, the Healing Breeze, passive healing, and then it's got Divine and Health, and I went ahead and put Thrust Protection on there. You could also do Flame Protection or Slash Protection, whatever you prefer. And then with Justice, this is a really good artifact. It's actually been growing on me quite a bit. It's intrinsic perk Alchemist's Ward. When you get hit 20 times, gain a potion surge that will recharge your next survival potion instantly. It's got a 90-second cooldown, but keep in mind you can't use multiple potion surges within 75 seconds of each other. You have to, do a little bit of potion management, but once you get the hang of it, it is a really good artifact. And this comes from the Influence Race crates. And then for the perks, it's got Empowering Toast, Healing Heart, which I swear by that perk, the Healing Heart on Heart Rune. You heal for 10% of your max health. And then I went ahead and put Regenerating on this. Regenerating is a must-have on the earring. And then for the ring, got Healing Breeze, of course, Thrust Damage, and Hardy. I went more into Thrust Damage for the damage to our spear, considering there's probably more mitigation towards rust damage than there is slash most of the time. It's kind of 50-50. You could go with slash damage as well to really boost the hatchet damage, but I've come to find that running the setup is actually really nice. So feel free to switch it up to your liking. What works for me may not work for you. And then for the non-artifact earring, when I run the Ankh setup, I'm using Healthy Toast, Healing Heart, and Regenerating Healthy Toast to give us another option of heals. And this will also trigger our Healing Breeze to give us even more healing. So as far as our resistances go, we've got 7.5% slash, 7.5 strike, 22.9 thrust, 7.5% standard damage, that is your bleed resist, 10% elemental across the board, and then 16% fire damage resist. Now that consists of 4 opals, 3 onyxes, and 1 ruby. And now moving on to the attributes, we've got 300 strength, 150 dex, and 200 con. Now, in order to achieve these stats, you must be at least 720 gear score with 2 pieces of con. Just a heads up. So with these attribute thresholds, we are able to achieve a 7% base damage while under 90% health, as well as that 33% stand regen rate while performing a basic melee attacks, and then the 10% damage on stunned, slowed, or rooted enemies, which is very strong. That works both ways with our spear and the hatchet. When we apply that root from social distancing, then we do our full combo with the hatchet throws. And then with the 150 dex, we're able to increase the duration to the dots we get from our spear as well as the hatchet. And then in 200 con, we're able to increase our physical and elemental armor by 10% to give us a total of just over 2,000 physical and 1,900 elemental when running featherweight and 4 pieces of heavy. Starting off with the spear skill tree, be sure to pause the video or take a screenshot. This is what I'm running for the Venom hatchet build. I've come to find that this is about as good as we're gonna get it. I kind of wish I was able to keep the evasive maneuvers, but I needed to have the forceful impact so we can knock down our opponent when we hit him with the javelin. Now, if you were to switch up Venom and go Scorpion, obviously you'd be able to take that out and go with evasive maneuvers. But what's most important is having the exploited weakness ultimate. You deal 10% increased base damage for each debuff on your target, a max of 30%, and we're constantly having debuffs on our target, whether it's dots or the plague strikes, weaken, all of that stuff. Then of course we are running Vault Kick with this setup. I really like Vault Kick. I think in the current meta right now there's so much grit, and if you're not running Vault Kick for this build, you will come to find that you're going to be dealing with a lot of builds with grit, and it does make it a little difficult. But with Vault Kick, you're able to stun your target in place even though they have that active grit. That's what makes it very, very strong. That's what I like to do against players when they are running Berserk or those bruiser builds. When they try to crash and try to trap me in a bubble, I'll go ahead and immediately Vault Kick to stun them in their tracks and get out of that crash. And then as far as the hatchet skill tree, be sure to pause the video or take a screenshot. Now, there is only one passive that I go back and forth with. I'm still not sure which one I prefer. Feel free to switch it up to your liking, but I will sometimes go back and forth with the Against All Odds. This increases base damage by 10% for every enemy within 5 meters, a max of 5 targets. Or go with On Fire. Every third hatchet thrown hit is a guaranteed critical hit. So feel free to switch that up to your liking. I think I do like the Against All Odds more because that is just more damage. Even if it's like 1 or 2 enemies close to me and I'm damaging somebody from afar, I will have that extra base damage to apply to that ranger that is free ranging me from afar. So, and then as far as some tips I can give for you guys, I like to start out the fight with the spear, and if they try to close the gap on me, whether it's like a leaping strike or you're just running towards me, I like to, you know, make it seem like I'm kind of like running away, and then I javelin, boom, line it up, and then immediately switch to the hatchet while they're on the ground, hit that social distancing into the running throw and then the infected throw. Sometimes what I've noticed as well is when you try to do that full 3-piece combo, what you should sometimes do is switch it up. So when they are down on the ground from the javelin, you hit them with that first social distance throw into the running throw right after, but then do like an auto, because they're probably going to block it, and then follow up with that infected throw. So you guarantee it lands and it'll do some crazy damage. And then with the spear, make sure you're, dodging in between attacks. So you put a dodge, you sweep, and then I like to block immediately after I end my coop, just because a lot of times people like to, if I'm playing against another spear player, they will try to sweep me after. Otherwise, if it's like a musket player or any form of range, as soon as I get done with the coop, I like to go for a half heavy to get that roll catch. Sometimes they will do like a roll out of it and then go like the opposite direction. Then I'll like hold it and I'll try to do like a 180 and get that roll catch damage. And then that applies that plague strikes, and it's a heavy attack, so it will reduce the cooldowns on spear. It's a phenomenal move and something, to create a habit towards. And there you have it, the Venom Hatchet build. What better way to finish off the season than with a spear build? My favorite weapon in New World by far. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.